She's fighting for her life. CCTV leaked of Shu Kai begging hospital to do more. The world is reeling this morning after harrowing CCTV footage leaked from Zhongnan University Hospital, showing actor Shu Kai emotionally breaking down in the emergency wing, screaming at doctors and nurses to do something as Tan Songyun, his long-rumored love interest, was reportedly fighting for her life following another ICU-level panic attack. The footage, which has since gone viral across Chinese social platforms, paints a raw and gut-wrenching picture of a man completely broken and a woman dangerously close to slipping away again. And this time, she may not come back. I'm not losing her, not again. The surveillance video, time-stamped at 2:46 a.m., shows Shu Kai pacing the brightly lit hospital corridor. He appears disheveled, shirt half-buttoned, phone in hand, with what looks like blood or vomit on his sleeve. He's barely able to speak as medical staff rush past him. But then, something breaks. In the next clip, Shu Kai collapses against the nurse's station, hands trembling as he chokes out, "Please, she's fighting, just do something. Please don't let her die." One nurse tries to calm him, but he pushes past, heading toward the restricted ICU hallway, only to be blocked by two orderlies. "No, you don't understand, she begged me not to leave her. She told me she couldn't breathe. I can't stand here while you all act like she's just another patient." This desperate outcry, captured in crystal-clear audio, has already sparked a tidal wave of fan emotion online, with hashtags like #ProtectTanSongyun and #ShuKaiHeartbreak trending across Weibo, Douyin, and international fan forums. A tense timeline of events. Sources inside the hospital reveal that Tan Songyun was rushed to the ER shortly after midnight following what was described as a sudden, traumatic collapse in her private residence. A staff member from her team, who has chosen to remain anonymous, claimed that Tan had been hyperventilating and clawing at her own chest moments before losing consciousness. She kept repeating the words, "I wasn't ready to die," over and over again before she passed out. It was like she was reliving the crash. I've never seen her like that. As previously reported, Tan Songyun was involved in a serious car accident months ago. Though she physically recovered, the psychological trauma clearly remains unresolved. Insiders suggest she has been battling PTSD quietly and alone. Shu Kai, the man who never left. Despite Tan Songyun's public denial of any romantic ties with Shu Kai, this footage has reignited the conversation around their off-screen relationship. In one heartbreaking moment, as Shu Kai argues with hospital security, he whispers, "She told me I was the only one who made her feel safe." And yet, she had still denied him, publicly, during an earlier press interview just days ago. "I guess I just wasn't enough," he adds, voice shaking, as security holds him back. "But I swore I would stay. So I did." This silent promise is what fans are now clinging to. CCTV, the final 10 minutes. One of the most heart-wrenching moments in the leaked footage shows Shu Kai sitting alone on the cold corridor floor, knees pulled to his chest, as doctors rush into the ICU room. At exactly 3:07 a.m., a nurse walks out and approaches him. We can't hear what she says, but Shu Kai's face crumbles. He breaks down in tears. His body shakes violently. His hands clutch his hair. He leans against the wall and just sobs. And then he whispers something, caught barely by the audio. "Tell her I never stopped loving her, even when she couldn't love herself." The fans' reaction, from outrage to prayer. Social media has exploded. Fans from all over the world have begun organizing virtual vigils and prayer circles. One user wrote, "You can feel the pain in Shu Kai's voice. That wasn't acting. That was the man who loves her watching the only person he lives for slip away behind glass walls." Another user posted, "If love could heal, Shu Kai's would have brought her back already. That man is bleeding from the soul." Even fellow celebrities have weighed in. Zhao Luzi tweeted simply, "Sending light to Songyun. And strength to Shu Kai. You deserve peace." Hospital statement, "She's not out of danger." The hospital released a public statement at 8 a.m. this morning, confirming that Tan Songyun is in extremely delicate condition following a severe psychological and physiological episode. She remains in a medically induced coma while we monitor for potential organ distress due to prolonged panic-induced oxygen deprivation, the statement read. While stabilized, Her condition remains critical. They also confirmed that Shu Kai has been granted limited visitation rights, at the patient's prior request, suggesting that at some point, despite her public denials, Tan Songyun made sure Shu Kai would be allowed in if anything ever happened. Private texts leaked, "If I don't wake up." Making matters more intense, a private text message screenshot allegedly sent from Tan Songyun to a close confidant surfaced this morning. It reads, "If I don't wake up, please make sure Shu knows. I lied to protect him. But I never stopped loving him. He was the only one who stayed when I made it impossible." Fans were already emotionally raw, but this shattered them. The unspoken history, a love derailed by fear. According to multiple behind-the-scenes reports from industry insiders, Tan Songyun and Shu Kai grew close after working on a now-shelved drama project nearly 2 years ago. At the time, she was fresh off therapy following the accident, while Shu was stepping away from the public eye due to personal losses. Their bond was forged in silence and shared pain. They saved each other. But when the media started to speculate, Tan pulled back. She told him she couldn't survive another storm, so she pushed him away, one anonymous source said. Shu Kai never addressed the rumors publicly until now. And maybe, that was the most powerful love confession of all. What happens next? As of now, Shu Kai remains stationed at the hospital. Several fans have reportedly spotted him coming in and out of the hospital chapel, sometimes in tears, other times completely silent. Tan Songyun's team has gone radio silent. Media outlets are urging the public to be patient and allow her family space, but the world is clearly holding its breath. Final moments from the footage. In the last clip from the footage, Shu Kai sits in the dark hallway just outside the ICU. His head is bowed. His hand holds a small, silver necklace, one that eagle-eyed fans recognized as belonging to Tan Songyun, based on old photos from her Instagram. He kisses it once. Then he says, "Fight for me. One more time. Please." And then, the screen fades to black. To be continued. Will Tan Songyun wake up? Will she finally tell the truth about what Shu Kai meant to her? Or will the silence become permanent, leaving behind a love that was too tender to survive in the brutal world they both live in? Whatever happens next, one thing is certain: this is no longer just gossip. This is a fight for life, a fight for love, and one of the most heartbreaking chapters in the history of modern Chinese celebrity. "I'm losing her." Shu Kai's final breakdown shakes the entire ward. They said stars were untouchable. But on that rainy night, under flickering hospital lights, Shu Kai wasn't a star. He was just a man, terrified of losing the only woman who ever knew how to calm the storm inside him. It had been 20 minutes since Tan Songyun was wheeled back into the ICU after a sudden relapse in her breathing. Machines beeped frantically as her oxygen levels dipped below safe limits. Outside the glass door, Shu Kai stood with both hands pressed against the wall, breathing heavily, drenched in panic and guilt. "She was smiling this morning," he whispered to the nurse beside him, barely audible. "She told me she was feeling stronger." The nurse said nothing. What could she say to a man whose entire soul was unraveling in front of her? CCTV footage leaks. The moment the mask came off. CCTV footage had already caused nationwide heartbreak. In the grainy video, Shu Kai could be seen gripping a doctor's coat with both fists, shouting through tears, "She's not a number. She's not a case. She's Tan Songyun. Do something." Security tried to hold him back, but he dropped to his knees. "If this is about money, take everything I have," he sobbed. "But please, please, just don't let her slip away." His voice cracked. Social media exploded the moment the footage surfaced. #PrayForSongyun trended in over 15 countries, and even veteran actors admitted in interviews they'd never seen a public display of raw emotion like that from Shu Kai. This wasn't acting. This was real. Flashback. When her body went cold. Inside the ward, doctors fought to stabilize her. The trigger. A sharp panic response caused by flashback-induced trauma. She suddenly started saying she couldn't breathe, one of the nurses confirmed. Then she said something like the lights, the crash. I can hear it again. And then she flatlined. The memory of the accident that nearly killed her had come back with force. Her heart couldn't take it. Her mind was spiraling. Outside, Shu Kai could do nothing but pace like a madman, begging anyone in a white coat for answers. Is she going to make it? We need more time. What does that mean? It means she's fighting. His fists clenched. Then tell me how to fight with her. The letter in his jacket pocket. He reached for his jacket. In the inside pocket was a wrinkled letter, never delivered. Tan Songyun had written it during her first week in ICU and begged the nurse to pass it to him if she didn't make it. He never read it. Not yet. But tonight, with her life hanging by a thread, he stared at it like it was oxygen. I can't lose her. Not now. Not when I was finally ready to love her right, he muttered. Shu Kai's desperate call to her mother. In a moment of raw desperation, Shu Kai called Tan Songyun's mother. I need you to talk to her, he pleaded over the phone. Just your voice, maybe it will help. Her mother was in tears. Is it really that bad? I don't know if she'll make it till morning. Within 10 minutes, the medical team agreed to let a call play on speaker in the ICU. Tan's mother's voice filled the room, trembling. Songyun, it's Mama. You promised you'd make it to your birthday this year. You promised to come home. Her breathing, though aided by machines, seemed to calm. Shu Kai watched from the hallway, his hands shaking. Please, Songyun, he whispered to the glass. Don't leave me. The stunning media twist. Fans demand answers. Just as her health crisis reached national attention, one online tabloid decided to re-release a past interview taken out of context where Shu Kai appeared cold, saying, "Sometimes silence is better than fixing broken things." The backlash was instant. How dare he say this while she's fighting for her life? His fake. They didn't know the truth. That the interview was months old. That since then, Shu Kai had never left her side, barely sleeping, barely eating. That he was the one cleaning her hospital room, speaking to nurses, donating anonymously to other patients around her ward. His fans began to counter the hate. If only people saw the full story, one user posted. If only they saw what he's doing for her now. Back inside, a single finger moves. And then, the miracle came. At 3:47 a.m., while Shu Kai dozed off on a waiting bench, a nurse screamed from inside the ICU. She moved. He jolted upright. Tan Songyun's finger had twitched. Once. Twice. Then her eyelids fluttered. Doctors rushed in, adjusting the oxygen. A machine beeped differently now. Not in panic, but in stabilization. Shu Kai ran to the glass, pressing his hand to the cold surface. You're coming back to me, he whispered. A tear fell. But it's not over yet. Doctors warned that her vitals were still fragile, that the panic attack had drained her reserves, and another episode could be fatal. But for Shu Kai, that one moment, a twitch of her finger, was enough to renew hope. She's still fighting, he said softly. So I will, too. Coming next. What was in the letter? The letter in Shu Kai's jacket remains unopened. But nurses have hinted that it contains a confession, a truth Tan Songyun was too scared to say out loud while awake. What did she write? What secret had she hidden even as she hovered between life and death? And will Shu Kai ever get the chance to read it with her sitting next to him again?